I post only one Instagram story per day, just one, and it gets me 10x the views when I was posting 5 stories a day, plus thousands of email subscribers and daily product sales. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I make one of these stories from start to finish, including the back-end automation that does all the selling for you while you sleep. That's a hint. Now, if you're feeling behind on your Instagram stories, or you think you need to vlog your entire day, or you're just overwhelmed trying to keep up, this video is going to change everything for you. Because here's what most people get wrong. They think that more stories equals more visibility in front of their followers. But I used to post multiple stories per day, and I was getting 400 to 800 views maximum. But when I switched to this one story format, my views jumped to 5,000, 9,000, sometimes even 14,000 views on a single story. That's literally a 20x increase just by posting less. Now, before I show you exactly how to make one of these stories, you need to understand why this strategy works and why it's so good. You see, Instagram's algorithm rewards completion rate. So when you're posting multiple stories throughout the day, people tend to drop off. They see your coffee post, your workout, your lunch, and maybe they lose interest. But when you post one strategic story per day and you let it run for the full 24 hours, the algorithm sees that people are watching it, engaging with it, and they're taking action. So it's not just about getting views. The more replies you get to your story, the more the algorithm is going to say, people really like this story. Let's show it to more people. Now, this is a little hint at why these stories do so well. There is a DM automation flow attached to your story. I'm going to dive more into this in a little bit, but it's essentially a win-win. You are creating one story that gets a lot of engagement, and the algorithm is then going to show it to even more of your followers, and this is why it works so well. So let's break down the formula. I call this the story seller strategy, and it has 3 really simple parts. Part 1 is you're going to start with a simple photo. And I say photo because photos currently work way better than videos for whatever reason. I tested this, and whenever I posted a video as a story, I got around 700 to 900 views, but photos consistently get me 5,000 plus views. So you're going to go through your camera roll and find real life photos, those embarrassing selfies, weird faces, photos you took for yourself that you never really planned to share. That's what you want to post in your story. You don't want just brand images or AI images, because people want real raw images. They actually stop the scroll these days. Shocker. And we're all kind of beyond the era of perfect and polished and Photoshop, to be honest. So you're going to find a simple photo. I like to find the wacky ones in my camera roll. And then you're going to add text. I call it hooky text because your text needs to do 2 things. First, you need to create intrigue with your hook. The hook is usually at the top of your photo. It's going to be text on screen, and it really needs to grab someone's attention. It needs to create curiosity. Then you can include more text if you need to add more context, or if you want to add a second hook, you can absolutely do that. And then at the bottom of your photo, you're going to include a call to action for viewers to reply to your story with your key word. So the 2 things are the hook that stops the scroll, and then the call to action gets them into your DMs. And this is key. This brings me to part 3, which is you need to fire up your DM automation flow. This is the magic. You make it once, and when someone replies to your story with your keyword, this DM flow is automatically going to send them a DM from your account to theirs with whatever they're requesting from your story. So it could be a DM from you with further information or context, could be a link to your freebie, a link to your workshop, even a link to your sales page. Like I said, you set this up once and it works 24/7. So you don't have to be manually on your phone replying to people sending links. This is all taken care of for you automatically. Now, this strategy I just shared with you is a look inside my course, One and Done. This is my complete simplified Instagram strategy. So if you're liking where I'm going with this, you might actually like One and Done, where I give you 30 recipes exactly for your stories. These are stories that I've pulled from my account, and I break down how I got results up to 14,000 views. Plus, I walk you through the entire backend setup for the DM automation flow. So you can head to oneanddone.co, and I'll leave the link right below this video. So let's look at some of my actual stories that crushed it and generated leads and sales back to my business. So this story right here got about 9,500 views. It's just a simple selfie with this text. Truth, I've only gotten to 1 million views on 2 videos. I've still gone viral in my niche where it really counts. Do you want to know how? So here I'm sharing a little bit of vulnerability as an Instagram marketer. You'd think I'd go viral more, but I'm saying, no, it's only happened on 2 videos. The key is at the bottom. I asked people to reply with the word viral to the story, and I'll send them my free Viral Vault guide. So it's kind of like, she didn't really go viral, but she's got a Viral Vault guide. I'm curious, I'm gonna reply. So you can see it's a simple selfies, kind of a cool background, not gonna lie, but there's catchy text and there's a clear call to action. Let's look at this one. This story got 3,600 views. There's no makeup on. It's kind of a weird selfie. I'd never expected to share it. The text is written like I'm texting a friend. It says, it's lunchtime, so my skin on cue is acting up. Anyone remember last year's crazy retinal breakout? Well, it doesn't matter because the material I'm teaching next week is reply workshop, and I'll send you the details. See how casual it is? It's not trying to be perfect. It's real. And again, it sounds like I'm texting a friend. Now, this story got 5,500 views and it is an AI generated photo. So don't be afraid to experiment with AI images. This story was to promote my membership's birthday sale, and it says, the idea helped over 4,000 people across 84 countries. It turned 3 today. Happy birthday on video. Reply birthday for the party link, including birthday bonuses. So this story was actually sending people directly to a sales page, and not a freebie, but a sales page. And it still got over 4,600 views with tons of replies that converted into sales. Let me show you how I make one of these stories on my desktop, actually, not on my phone. So I'm going to build one from scratch right now. When I'm on desktop, I prefer to use Canva. So there's a ton of templates that you can start with right here. If I hit Instagram story, I can start building a story from scratch. And what I like to do is go over to my projects folder right here. And I actually have a folder where I've included a bunch of selfies of Elise. So this is for me and my team to pull from. And this is where I add my real raw photos, basically. So let's see, I've got this selfie right here. So I'm just going to bring this onto the timeline, and that's it. I might go to edit, adjust, auto adjust, so it just gives it a little bit more light. Okay, now I'm going to go back up here and add some text, and let's do a heading. And I also like to add a block of white behind it so that we can see it, and it kind of mimics the style of what's on Instagram. So I have a template that I've already created. This is our design that we use inside of Canva, and this is how we create our stories. So all I can do is open up this one. What I'm going to do is copy this, copy it. I'm going to paste it over here. So that makes it a little bit easier. So now I know my font is Source Serif Pro. I'll delete this, and this will be my headline. Okay. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a story to promote my product One and Done. So I'm going to come up with a hook, something like this. I cracked the Instagram code by accident. And then I just like to size up my text a little bit. And then I'll copy this and paste. Turns out I get better results by posting less. Okay, this is a little big, so I'm going to bring it down here. Then if I go back to my projects folder under selfies of Elise, I've actually got another folder called stats for proof. So if I have an image here that makes sense to share, let me see, something like this. So this image shows some Instagram stats. Now it's a lot of white right now, so I'm going to ungroup this. I'm going to change the color background here and make it, see, I like this color right here. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to group these. Okay, so I've got my headline, got a little bit more context. I've got some stats for proof. And what I'm missing here is a call to action. So if I look at my templates here, I can see that I do my call to actions in a few different ways. So here's a good example. Reply done, and I'll send it to you. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it here. So what I've done with this word done is I've gone into effects and I've added the background. So that's how I get that background color. Let me change this text. Reply done, and I'll send you my system. So that's my story. Now I'm going to go to share. I'm going to go to download. I want to download it as a PNG, and then it's going to download to my computer. All right, So the next step after making your story is posting it or scheduling it. So very easily, I can pull this picture from my computer. It's just right here. And I can share it with my phone by using AirDrop, share AirDrop, or I can use a scheduling tool. So I actually use Meta Business Suite. It's free. It's pretty easy. So you just go to create post. Let's see, I can even create a story. And then we're going to drag that image into our story area here, into the media area. We're going to go to Instagram story instead. And we just want it to go to my Instagram feed. And that's it. I'm just going to schedule it. I don't have to add any text. Let's say 3 p.m. or something like that. And then schedule. Now that our story is posted, of course, we need the DM automation to be set up and firing so that when people actually reply done to our story, they get a reply back. So for all DM automations, I do use a tool called ManyChat. And you can see here, I've got tons of automations, but this is the one we're focused on. It's the one and done automation where people use my keyword that I came up with, done. And you can see here that this automation has already been triggered over 1,200 times and it has a 70% click-through rate. That's huge. That means 70% of people who got my DM message with the link to my sales page actually clicked. So it's super high compared to email marketing. But this is what a DM flow looks like, and it's pretty easy to set up. So everything you see here in green is the trigger. So when someone comments the word done on my post, when someone replies to my story or sends a message with the word done, then they're going to get this DM reply. So for example, this is the story reply. If anyone uses the word done in their story reply, then this automation will be triggered. So this is going to be the first message they'll get, and you can type it in to be whatever you want. But in my case, I send them a quick, hey, just making sure you wanted this message. And then they need to tap the button in order to receive the next message, which is this one. And this one actually links them to my sales page. So when they hit this button, give me one and done, they're going to get this website URL popping up. And then from there, I do a few things like I tag them. I tag their contact information for showing interest in one and done. Then I set up a smart delay up to 30 minutes. And then there's a condition. So if they tapped my button, then they are going to get this follow-up message. And if they didn't tap the button, then they're going to get this follow-up message, which says, oops, looks like you didn't tap the magical button. Are you sure you're not interested? And then I give them one more chance to click over to my sales page. So I know it looks complicated, but it is a really user-friendly tool. And this is what powers all my automations. So we can see I've got so many automations, some live, some not. I've got one for another product, message magic templates, which has been fired off over 3,700 times. So there's a lot of power to using and learning this tool and making sure it's automating all your stories and all of your reels and carousel posts. If you're on board with this strategy and you want to try it out, make sure you avoid these mistakes that I see people make all the time. Mistake number one is posting multiple stories in one day. When I post more than one story every day, the views on all of them go down. So I really recommend to let your one story run for the full 24 hours and let it expire before you post again. That's when you're going to get those 10x views. Mistake number two is using video instead of photo. So I have tested this. You can test it yourself, but video stories got less than 1,000 views for me, and photo stories consistently get 3,000, 5,000, even 10,000 views. So in my world, stick with photos, but try it out for yourself. Mistake number three is using perfect branded images. Now, your photos should feel real and raw. You want to actually pull from your camera roll. And I find that the imperfect photos perform better because they feel authentic and they're more likely to stop the scroll. Mistake number four is writing weak hooks. The text on top of your photo needs to stop the scroll. It needs to create curiosity. Now, if your hook is boring, people are going to tap through to the next story of someone else's profile. So remember, if you want my full system, all 30 story seller recipes, plus I include recipes for my reels, my carousel posts, and my DM automation setup, all the trainings you need are inside of One and Done, and that's right below this video. Now, the story seller method that I walked you through today is just one piece of what I call the 1-1-1-1 method. Yes, there is just one type of reel, one type of carousel, and one DM flow that you need to tie all this together. So I've got a video breaking down all these formats, and you can go ahead and watch this next, and you're gonna find out so much more about how to simplify your Instagram strategy. So I'll see you there.